Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of American Classic Tour TV. I'm your host JD Conroy, and on today's episode, we have a special edition in store for you, a Christmas edition of American Classic Tour TV. On today's episode, we're gonna preview Christmas tours that every American should take. I also got my festive Santa Claus Christmas hat. Is this thing on right? Is this how you wear a Santa hat? Let's move on with today's episode. We've got to preview our 5 tours. I'm all cozy here with my Christmas sweater on. I've got my hot cocoa made. I'd encourage you all at home to make yourself some hot cocoa. Let's sit back, relax, and dream of the places we're gonna go for Christmas in 2021. One more thing before we get started with today's episode. If you sign up for any of the tours that I'm gonna preview today, we are offering an exclusive Tour TV discount. If you sign up for an air tour, you'll save $200 per person per tour. If you sign up for a motor coach tour, you'll save $100 per person per tour. Also, before we get started with today's episode, make sure if you have not done so already, you hit the red subscribe button that sits just below the bottom right-hand corner of this video. Okay, on to today's show. Take a step back in time and enjoy the holidays like the Vanderbilts or the Astors did in style in Newport, Boston, and New York City. Some highlights of this tour include a guided tour of Boston, where we'll see the Old North Church, the Paul Revere statue, Quincy Market, the Beacon Hill neighborhood, and of course, we'll take a tour of Boston's historic Freedom Trail up to Lexington and Concord, where the first shots of the Revolutionary War were fired. Take in the famous Boston Holiday Pops Christmas concert live from Boston's Symphony Hall. We'll take a guided tour of Newport, Rhode Island, a legendary haven for the rich and famous, home to fabulous seaside estates, world-class yachting, and breathtaking views on the Atlantic Ocean Drive. The opulence of Newport's Gilded Age mansions meets the sparkle and magic of Christmas during this festive season. We'll visit the Marble House Mansion, adorned with thousands of plants, evergreens, trees, wreaths, fresh flowers, and 19th century style ornaments, with dining tables set with period silver and china. Then we'll tour the Breakers Mansion, a 70-room Northern Italian palazzo and the largest of all the Newport mansions. It was built by Mr. and Mrs. Cornelius Vanderbilt. The mansion features the original furnishings, beautiful Christmas decorations, and holiday music filling the air. We'll stay for 2 nights in New York City, and of course you'll have free time at the Rockefeller Center with its famous Christmas tree and ice skating rink. We'll enjoy a Broadway show. We'll take a guided tour of New York City, which will feature a visit to Bryant Park, Winter Village, and Holiday Market. And of course, we'll take in the Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular starring the Rockettes. Well folks, if you love live entertainment and you love holiday cheer, there is simply no better place in America to celebrate the Christmas season than Branson. This tour will feature the Brett Family Christmas Show, the Osmond Brothers and the Lennon Sisters, the amazing Sight and Sound Theater, and a ride on the famous showboat Branson Belle. The Rose Parade is America's signature New Year's celebration. Since 1890, Pasadena has ushered in the new year with this great tradition. For many people who for years have watched this parade on TV, seeing it in person is a dream come true. To usher in the new year in sunny Southern California, watching the incredibly intricate flowery floats, the equestrian teams, and the marching bands pass by in person is an experience every American should enjoy. This tour also features the best of Southern California. We'll visit Catalina Island, a beautiful island sitting about 20 miles off the coast of Southern California. With its sharp golden cliffs, its iconic marina, and its bright sunshine, visiting Catalina Island will make you feel as if you were in the middle of the Mediterranean. We'll visit the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum on a stunning mountaintop in Simi Valley, California. We'll learn all about the life and presidency of Ronald Reagan through the museum's awesome exhibits, and you'll also have a chance to step aboard the retired Air Force One right here at the museum. We'll take a guided tour of Los Angeles where we'll explore Hollywood. We'll walk the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We'll visit the Chinese Grauman Theater where so many of Hollywood's biggest movies have premiered over the years. We'll visit Dodger Stadium. We'll see the Hollywood Bowl, Walt Disney Concert Hall, and more. This tour also features a behind-the-scenes tour of Warner Brothers Studio, and it's really neat to go behind the scenes and see how your favorite TV shows and movies have been made. Nothing can put you in the festive holiday spirit quite like a journey to Nashville for a country Christmas. This tour features some amazing attractions. We'll take a guided tour of Nashville, known as the Athens of the South. Some highlights of this tour include Music Row's recording studios and the Parthenon, a replica of the original in Greece. We'll take a cruise on the Cumberland River on the festively decorated General Jackson Showboat for lunch and live entertainment. We'll visit the Country Music Hall of Fame for a fascinating look into the history of country music. The main highlight of this tour is the Grand Ole Opry, which we'll be taking in from the historic Ryman Auditorium. Over the years, the Grand Ole Opry has hosted country music's biggest stars, from George Strait to Toby Keith to Taylor Swift. And many of country music's biggest stars come back routinely to play at the Grand Ole Opry. I remember the first time I saw the Opry, I came away so impressed. And the thing I really enjoyed the most was watching the young artists who were playing at the Opry for the first time. Watching them get on stage, you could see it was a dream come true for them. And the emotion in the entire auditorium was palpable as you saw this young artist kind of take on a rite of passage in country music. You know, if you're going to make it big in country music, you have to play at the Grand Ole Opry. So that live music emotional experience was unforgettable. On this tour, we stay at an amazing experiential hotel, the famous Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. Each year, the Opryland creates a glittering holiday extravaganza sparkling with the brilliance of 2 million lights. 9 acres of indoor gardens are lavishly decorated with brilliant displays of holiday ornaments and huge sparkling trees. You need to see it to believe it. This tour also features the Opryland's exciting Fantasy and Ice, which is an incredible exhibit of carving, sculptures, and 3D holiday-themed displays, all handcrafted by more than 35 artisans from China. Get into the festive holiday season with us next year on our Christmas markets on the Rhine cruise. From Switzerland's glittery cities, Lucerne and Zurich, to the iconic canals of Amsterdam, cherish the glory of the season with visits to some of the world's most timeless Christmas markets. If you take a look at our map, you'll see we'll fly into Zurich, where we'll enjoy a 2-night stay before traveling to Lucerne for another 2-night stay, and from there we'll travel to Basel, where we'll begin our cruise to Amsterdam. We'll be sailing on the lovely Ama Lucia on this tour. Let's take a look at the itinerary. Join a walking tour of Zurich and experience the magic of the city dressed in her holiday best. You'll visit Zurich's Christmas markets, including the largest indoor Christmas market in Europe, located in Zurich's main train station. An absolute highlight is a 50-foot tall Christmas tree decorated with thousands of sparkling crystals. Enjoy a scenic cruise from Witznau across the tranquil waters of Lake Lucerne. While cruising, enjoy the breathtaking mountain scenery marked by steep alpine peaks, sloped forests, and fertile meadows and valleys beyond. Take a guided tour of Lucerne. Small cobblestone streets, squares with fountains and frescoed buildings typify the city. Soak up the festive atmosphere of Lucerne while wandering through its Christmas markets and enjoy a mug of holiday cheer, Glühwein. Then travel to Basel, where you'll embark on an 8-day cruise on the Rhine River. Visit the enchanting medieval town of Rietveer, beautifully dressed in her holiday finery with twinkling decorations and a lively Christmas market. Visit Strasbourg, which is especially beautiful during the season of Advent. The Christkindl market dates back to 1570, making it the oldest Christmas market in France. Enjoy a panoramic bus tour that takes you past the Parc de l'Orangerie and the European Parliament and the Place de la République. Afterwards, walk through the historic town center, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and through the lovely Little France district, where you'll see the Cathedral of Notre Dame with its famous astronomical clock, and then visit the town's famous Christmas market. Visit Heidelberg, a perfectly preserved medieval city nested in the Neckar River Valley along German's Castle Road, followed by a visit to its Christmas markets. Enjoy scenic cruising through the Rhine Gorge to see the picture-perfect castles sitting on its dramatic river bluffs. Discover the historic beauty of Cologne, Germany, home to the UNESCO-designated Cologne Cathedral, and take in Cologne's Christmas markets. Located in front of the Cologne Cathedral, this Christmas market is one of the largest and most renowned in Europe. Next, taking the Christmas charm of Amsterdam. We'll cruise the iconic canals of this city, which is considered the Venice of the North, and admire its historic architecture along the way before disembarking the ship and flying home. A Southwestern Christmas in San Antonio is my favorite Christmas tour that we offer each year here at American Classic Tours. I just love this tour, and I'd say that there are 5 reasons why. Number 1, I'm a sucker for warm weather. It's right at around this time of year in early December that where I live in Chicago, the weather starts to become really cold and uncomfortable. So I love getting away in early December to San Antonio where the temperatures are much nicer. In early December, temperatures in San Antonio average in the 60s. So it's real nice, comfortable weather. Number 2, this tour has an amazing laid-back pace. Now, what exactly do I mean by this? Well, first of all, we stay all 4 nights of this tour at the same hotel, the Holiday Inn Riverwalk, which means you only have to unpack your bag once. I find that our travelers really enjoy tours like this that are 5 to 6 days long, where we stay in just one hotel throughout the trip. Our hotel on this tour is located right on San Antonio's famous Riverwalk in the heart of downtown San Antonio. And because of this central location, we include plenty of free time on this tour for you to explore downtown San Antonio at your own leisure, which leads me to the 3rd thing I really enjoy about this tour, and that is the famous San Antonio Riverwalk. The Riverwalk is one of America's most unique attractions. It is lined with lovely shops, historic hotels, top-tier restaurants, and bars. It's an enchanting destination to visit, especially at Christmas time when the Riverwalk is covered with holiday lights. And folks, just take it from me, I've been there 3 times during Christmas. These photos don't do it justice. It's really hard for photographers to capture the beauty and the lighting of the Christmas lights over the Riverwalk. As I mentioned, you'll have plenty of time to explore the Riverwalk at your own leisure, but we also include a guided cruise on the San Antonio River. Number 4, this tour features premier attractions. I remember when I first went on this tour, other than the Alamo and the Riverwalk, I didn't quite know what to expect from the attractions. After I led this tour, I remember coming back and talking to my dad and Mary Pelk at our office saying, wow, you know what? This tour might have my favorite collection of attractions of any tours we offer. Our tour will begin with a visit to the famous Alamo. Here you'll learn about one of the most dramatic stories in American history, the Battle of the Alamo, as you explore this historic fort and you watch the entertaining and informative IMAX movie, The Price of Freedom. We'll also visit the historic Mission San Jose located just outside of downtown San Antonio. This mission was built in 1718, and if you love history, you'll love visiting the Mission San Jose. It's one of those places that has been so wonderfully preserved that it literally feels like you're taking a step back in time as soon as you step in to this historic mission. We'll visit the Briscoe Museum of Western Art to see some of the Southwest's best works of art. We'll take a day trip out to Texas's beautiful hill country where you'll visit one of America's hidden gems, the lovely little town of Fredericksburg, Texas. This German town has a fascinating story and a charming main street which is home to lovely shops, craft breweries, and wineries. Fredericksburg, Texas was also the home of Admiral Chester Nimitz, the great American general who led the American effort in the Pacific during World War II. Because of this, the National Museum of the Pacific War is located in Fredericksburg. And folks, this is one of the best museums in the entire country. I'm sure many of you have been to the National World War I Museum in Kansas City or the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. I would say that this museum, the National Museum of the Pacific War, is on par with those 2 great American museums. There's 2 attractions on this tour that stand out in particular as just being very fun. I'd say these 2 attractions are 2 of the most fun attractions we offer throughout all of our tours throughout the entire year. And the first is the Wyo Ranch. This massive ranch in Texas's West Hill Country is home to over 58 species of exotic wildlife. It's so cool. What we do is we get in this big vehicle and we off-road on the beautiful hills and we see all these exotic wildlife species such as water buffalo, giraffes, zebras, and more. Now, the second attraction that I think stands out for being especially fun is San Antonio SeaWorld. And this visit is not just any visit to SeaWorld. What we do is our group gets a private tour. We go on one of the days that the park is closed and we get this backstage behind the scenes tour. The members of the staff give us this guided tour where we get to see sea lions, we'll see orcas, beluga whales, otters, seals, and more. It's such a neat attraction. And the fifth and final thing I love about this tour, folks, is margaritas. It's funny. Each year I've led this tour, I've led it 3 times. I always remember having good times drinking margaritas with our group. One of the many places you can try a margarita is at our dinner at the lovely Mia Terra restaurant. The ambiance of this restaurant is so neat. It's elaborately decorated, especially at Christmas time. You're gonna love our visit to Mia Terra. The last tour we're going to preview today is our Smoky Mountain Christmas. Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg transform into a festive wonderland of twinkling lights during the Winterfest Lights Festival. Entertainment abounds with professional musical theater shows. We'll celebrate a Smoky Mountain Christmas Dolly Parton style at her brand new Dreammore Resort. We'll marvel at her Dollywood theme park featuring holiday lights and decorations, music shows, mountain craftsmen, and a variety of interesting attractions. So there you have it, folks. There is our special preview of our Christmas tours coming next year.